Hello and welcome to Tech Talk by Heliocentrics. I'm John.
Hello, I'm James.
And we're back again in 2026 to talk about everything AI and Copilot and all those sorts of things.
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, I think we just about get away with saying that now. So, unsurprisingly, after we last did our podcast, OpenAI did release a image generation model, which hopefully will create even better images. We'll be talking about some other tools that are creating images a little bit later. But also there have been a few more models released by different providers, and I think we're just going to see it all this year that these models, the basis on which all AI is built, is just going to keep improving, and more is going to be coming out all the time.
Yeah, I think with as well, we're probably going to see new models more frequently as well, because we've already noticed that in 2025. Then I think that's just going to continue throughout this year as well.
Yeah, I need to see if I can find a timeline somebody's done just to show how the rate of development is increasing all the time.
Yeah.
So if anyone's been watching the news, you would have seen a bit of the bad news regarding how AI is being misused on some platforms and how that's ending up on social media. I'm finding it particularly interesting to watch how the regulation is going to come about because of this, and I think it will drive some decisions worldwide about the use of AI and social media and what it can and can't be used for. And it's going to be a really interesting space to keep an eye on and see what happens. But this year, I think, is going to be a big year for AI to start proving itself to individuals and businesses. We know it can do good work. We now have to find the opportunities to use it to make our lives easier and to make small business easier and more profitable. And I think the big area we're going to see is development of new software. Certainly, we do bespoke software development for some of our clients. And what we found is that the tools have just become so much better over the last few months that we are saving a considerable amount of time on development. And that's going to open up a lot more opportunities for people to produce simple applications, one-off applications or tools that doesn't benefit anybody else. There's no financial gain by creating them, but they're good for you and your business, as well as full bespoke software platforms has suddenly become a lot cheaper. And it's something we're going to be talking to a few clients about over the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. Previously, bespoke development has always been a very costly endeavor. And I think that this agentic coding, the increase in AI that's having this impact by driving down costs is going to make it a lot more accessible for a wider variety of clients. So people who've struggled with systems in the past that only do 80 or 90% of what they need, suddenly going to have the opportunity that actually it's a lot more worthwhile and valuable investing in potentially something they build themselves.
Yeah, and it's hopefully something we'll talk a bit more about over the coming weeks. So over Christmas, James, did you use AI for anything in particular?
Yes, obviously, naturally, I was using AI for a whole variety of things, but there was a couple of things that I think are really interesting use cases that I can share. So to give a bit of personal information, I've recently moved house, and one of the things that I've been doing is attempting to build a garden room that's going to be a gym at my new house. So I've been building that pretty much completely from scratch. I'm not the most DIY proficient person, but I'm always willing to give things a go. And I've been using AI to help me significantly. So mostly I've been using ChatGPT, sometimes Gemini as well, to help me with planning, with calculations, and then with finding materials and making sure that I'm using the right materials. So there's been various questions that I've had for AI in terms of how to actually structure my garden room, what materials to use. I've got it to not only tell me what materials to use, but then actually create diagrams, visual representations of how I should be putting things together. On top of that, it's been great at finding very specific products for me as well. So, you know, I was looking at what types of screws and nails should I be using, and actually it's gone out and been able to find me the exact right ones. And there was a moment that really impressed me. So I needed to work on some guttering around an existing piece of guttering. So I needed to add something to it. And what I noticed, one of the pieces had a barcode on it. So I took a picture of the piece of guttering with the barcode, told ChatGPT exactly what I wanted to do in terms of the pieces that I needed. And actually it went out, found exactly the right type of guttering and gave me the product number as well. so that I could just go out and find that exact product number. And I went out, I purchased it, and it fit perfectly, and it saved me a heap of time.
It's one of those things that it looks really easy, but it's a good testament to good software when you can make something very complicated appear like magic very easily. So it's a good tool to see that actually in action, not just for work. And I spoke to someone last week who had been using it for how to change taps in their bathroom because they'd never done that before, and it was able to guide them through it step by step.
Yeah, I think that what's made it more impressive and more useful is the combination of being able to chat with it, take pictures of things, and it be able to also search the web. So I provide it with screenshots sometimes of various things I'm looking at as well, and that makes it really powerful. Now, John obviously took 2 weeks off over Christmas, so naturally he shouldn't have been on a computer, but as we all know, I'm sure he probably was. So what were you working on over Christmas?
So I'm delivering a bit of a talk over the next few weeks, and when I was brainstorming some ideas over Christmas, I didn't want to use a computer. I wanted to have a break from it, but that meant that I needed to write down my thoughts. And so what I did is actually went back to good old-fashioned pen and paper. But when it came time to moving it over to the computer, I just took some pictures of it and put it into Copilot and asked it to convert my handwriting into text. Now, my handwriting isn't particularly great, but Copilot did a really good job at pulling out all of the words that I'd used. I mean, it was about 10 or 11 pages of handwriting that it was able to translate in one go, convert to document, and review it. And then I was even able to get it to create a auto cue that I could run in my browser to actually go through it. Probably not going to use the auto cue, but it was an interesting experiment to use AI to create these one-off tools that we're probably not going to use again, but something we can make use of just for that one specific use case.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I quite often find that taking pen to paper helps get something from the brain out a little bit easier than working on a computer. So being able to then convert that easily to something usable without having to type it all out again, I think is a really powerful tool.
Okay, but that's moving that between different types of media is kind of the theme we're talking about a bit today. I've done it with a couple of clients recently, and I've been talking about how that now media generation, and by that I mean audio, visual, besides pictures and videos, is becoming much cheaper to produce. It's starting to open up a new wealth of opportunities to create specific content for specific use cases that never would have been financially viable before to do so bespoke. But actually now AI is making that much easier. We can start looking at ways of doing that. And it might be that we're going to look at is whether we deliver proposals via video as well as by the written word. And we're looking at with clients in that particular way. And I think the demo you wanted to do today talks a bit about that.
Yes, so if anybody hasn't played around with the create mode in Copilot, we're going to have a quick look at that. So start with what I've got here. I've just logged into Copilot. I've got a quick prompt here asking it to pull out 5 key talking points for small businesses from the attached NCSC 2025 report. So I've downloaded the report. I'm going to obviously attach the report to the chat conversation by using that / and then searching for the file name. So I've attached that. We'll send that off to Copilot. It's going to review this PDF report, which is all about cybersecurity, and then it will pull out 5 key talking points. So Copilot is now giving us its answer after reviewing the full PDF. It's going to give us 5 key talking points. So I did prepare one earlier, but essentially what you'll want to do is take your key talking points. You'll go over to here, and now this is the create screen. If you've not seen it before, it can do images. It can also do PowerPoint, Word, Excel files.
I would say this is one of those areas that has dramatically improved over the last probably even month.
Yeah. Yes, Create's been around for a while, but it's really improved recently. If you go to more, you have the option to create a story. So from there, you would paste in your 5 key talking points. You do have the option to add additional files, select your brand and color. So you can set up a company branding kit, and that includes things like your logos and your colors. And then you can select various styles and the size that you want as well. So it does take a little while to do. Once you set it off, it can take sort of 5 or 10 minutes. So just to show you quickly, we'll just load up one that we created earlier. And this is the end result. So we did give Copilot our Heliocentrics branding kit, so it has all of the colors and understands our branding style. And this is just an example of 2 of the images that it popped out. And I think these are not necessarily perfect, but they are leaps and bounds ahead of where we were even probably 6 months ago in terms of image creation and infographics.
Yeah, and it's really moved on amazingly well. I mean, the first few that you saw with Create were pretty poor. These are getting a lot better. And obviously, I know you can use things like Canva, but obviously not everybody in a business is going to have access to Canva, and they just need to be able to have some way of creating these images very quickly as and when they need them.
And ensuring if you could set up the brand guidelines or the brand kit correctly, it ensures that what they're creating still aligns with your brand guidelines. And not everybody is necessarily creative or has a design mind. Me, for example, I would definitely say that about myself. So being able to still create things that look good without having to pay somebody else or get somebody else from the team to do it, I think is really powerful.
So you've also been playing around a lot more with particularly Gemini's models, haven't you, for photo editing?
Yes, so this follows on a little bit from what John was talking about with regards to handwriting. So image editing, an interesting recommendation I heard a while ago was actually if you take an image and annotate it with the changes that you'd like, then you'll get a much better result when you ask the AI to make those changes. So what we can see here on the screen is one of the images that we took from Create. I've asked it to remove the padlock and add a coffee mug, just as an example. Now, I did use Gemini for this because generally I think Gemini is better for image creation and editing. But you can see here, it's done exactly what I asked it to. So it's added a nice coffee mug, it's removed that padlock. And I think that could be a really powerful tool by annotating things to get those small changes that you want within images.
And it's a small touch, but the fact that it's made the coffee mug the same style as the rest of the image, which was not an image that Gemini created.
Yep.
This is a blank image as far as Gemini is concerned, does a really good job.
Yeah, I was really impressed. And I didn't give it the instruction necessarily to match it either. So it's taken that on board itself.
Now, Gemini, I mean, it's been great for doing graphics and things. In Create, it has the option now for doing infographics, but I don't think they're particularly good infographics.
Yeah.
Certainly not at the level that you get with Gemini. It's all going to change over the next few months. I'm sure those new images models are being released all the time. So we've been working on another couple of infographics that for a blog post we're going to be doing, hopefully. So these were a couple of infographics that we did the research for using Copilot to go off and research technological changes and the evolution of different professions over the last 5,000 to 6,000 years, or in case of technology, going back a few million years. And then once we've got all that text information, the research, just passed it into Gemini and asked it to create some infographics. 2 different data sources, and you can see a slightly different style to each of these, but both in keeping, and both would work nicely in a blog post, I think, to express the concepts that we're trying to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's really impressive just how far these models have come. Previously, 4 or 5 months ago, you would have asked it to create something like that, and not a single word would have been spelled correctly.
Oh, yes.
But now they're so much more accurate that you are actually able to use the end results. And I think it's really going to benefit a lot of people.
Yeah, and something I've been playing around with a bit more as well, following on from that, is video, and how you can use AI to summarize some of that.
Yeah, so I mean, you might have seen, if you haven't seen our Heliocentrics Christmas video, then definitely go and check it out. That is on our YouTube. But you would have noticed, if you have seen it, that we used AI within various sections of that video. So,
slightly less than Coca-Cola did with theirs.
Yes, not quite as much as Coca-Cola, but we did use it to create some video for some of the clips that were in there. And also we use Suno for creating some of the music as well. So if you've not used Suno before, it's a really fun tool to play around with. It's essentially a music generation tool, and there is a quite a good free plan actually.
Yeah.
So you can go and play around with it for free. It's great for creating like personalized birthday songs or songs about funny events and things like that, as well as creating background music for videos.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And videos, as we're saying, can be a new way of delivering content. And something we'll probably do a demo of in the next podcast, maybe, of just showing you how you can take content. It's a similar way we just did now for the NCSC, the National Cybersecurity Centre's end of year report, summarize it, and then get Copilot to create you a video that you'd better share internally with your team for training or education. And it's something we're working with a few clients just to explore that whole area as to whether it's something that they can make use of.
Absolutely. I think that just about covers it for today. One of the things we are looking to do over the course of the next few episodes, we're aware it's January, people are looking to try new things, and we are going to hopefully come up with a few AI-based projects or tasks to give you so you can help enhance your AI skills over the coming weeks. So make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button so that you get alerts for all of our new episodes.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
See you next time.